What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer, taking a look at another one of these kind of interesting cards that came out in this little group. I'm talking about Duality, of course, and this one, Shadow's Light, and then I also took a look at Harmonic Synchro Fusion, where you get to fuse and synchro at the same time. The one card I haven't looked at is Duality, and one of the first things I thought of was Invoked Dogmatika. I don't know what the real application of this card's supposed to be, but I love it when there's these generic cards that come out because they allow you to do so many different things, right? Things that they probably didn't have intended consequences on. So my Alistair gets ashed, some things never change. I've always run this little mini parallelic seed engine in the deck, but in a second I'll show you why I actually do play this card right here. So this is going to search me Maximus, which is really important. Maximus, of course, is just like really, really good, like 90% of the time, because you just get a lot of advantage from it. I can go ahead and discard that Meltdown. It's also so good because you have to discard all the time in Invoked, which is like having an extra draw all the time basically ensures that you can actually do that. But yeah, this is kind of like this is the interaction of the deck when it comes to Duality, and that is trading off your Maximus for a Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. They are the same level and type. It's a spellcaster. It is just a dark, so you get to kind of cheat this out, which is almost always the use of this card, by the way, like cheating it out somehow. And then this is just regular Invoked Dogmatika. This is still a very powerful play, having Winda, but now having Dragoon with it definitely makes the deck better. So should you play Duality and Invoke Dogmatika for whatever reason? If you're still playing it like I am, I think you really should. You also get to draw a card. You get so much drawing, right? Turn 2, having a fully replenished 5-card hand, through your combos is really, really good. Plus, I discarded one, and I still have, these other, little draw engines here. Wonderwand was one of them, but I was running with the Spellbook stuff. I was just experimenting a little bit with some other cards. Not really important, but really cool to just be able to, if you get into turn 3, you're, probably winning the duel. And I think that's a good thing. With all this, really decent interruption. The deck is just old, right? It's just, kind of power creep, I guess, at this point. Let's showcase one more time. I run all, small monster hand traps, like Ash, Effect Veiler, and Droll and Lockbird, so that you can normal summon them when they work with Parallelic Seed. Kind of stupid, but it does work. Just obviously always going through Maximus, getting those extra draws. I run Secret's Village, so I do, since I'm running Invoked, I run Terraforming. So I run 3 of the field spell, and then 1 Terraforming, and I also run 1 Secret, because, if you have that Meltdown in your hand, or maybe you don't need it, and you have Terraforming, this is, a much better, it's not a much better alternative, but it's definitely, something that's going to give you a lot of advantage. Draw an extra card there, which draws me 2 extra cards. Kind of unfortunate there what I drew, but it's okay. Maybe should have sent something else to the graveyard because I'm going to switch this off anyways. I guess I could have waited for Fleur, but in any case, I still have a full hand. He can't go into spell cards, and I have an Omni Negate, and I have Effect Veiler in my hand, which is pretty good. Right, maybe it could help me stall until the next turn, or just anything, because I'm kind of going off at that point. But again, Secret Village kind of wins me the duel there. But, if you have, Lightning Storm, normally you wouldn't have really anything to stop that if you're playing Invoked, but now that you can kind of switch that out into Dragoon, you can actually, build some advantage there, which is nice. Let's showcase just some other random ones. So if you're wondering, is the card good in Invoked Dogmatika? It is. And I'm sure it's probably good in actual decks that want to use it. The rest of these are just, kind of fun replays I've been doing. This is one of my favorite decks, so I play it all the time. Alright, just go ahead and fuse and go into Invoked Makaba. There goes Ecclesia. And now I'm off to the races. This card's so interesting because it's so good, but it can also just lose you duels if your opponent doesn't have an extra deck where they need to play good things in. It can always just kind of bite you. Decided to get rid of some cards in hand. Kind of interesting. I also have Maximus. It's kind of an unfortunate matchup because he does his extra deck really isn't that important. Doesn't really do anything there, but I do know that almost every deck special summons. So El Shaddoll Winda is going to probably win me the game anyways. But yeah, it's a really weird, unique win condition where you kind of just get rid of your opponent's extra deck. You're not setting up negates. You're trying to you know, use up every card that they have so they can't really do anything. It's a very different play style than most Yu-Gi-Oh decks. Because I don't like have any like traditional interruption here. It's like floodgatey. Well, I guess this is an Omni Negate, but I guess that's what makes this deck so fun. Maximus is always good just to have. You can just, you know, pop a couple cards. I think this is a trap that searches or something, but he's cooked, right? He can't really do anything. Let's go over to this one. I think this is one where you just like win, right? Like when you have, and this is what I was talking about terraforming earlier. It kind of works out that way. Sometimes you're going to play like a combo deck and you've just won the duel, right? Like I can just, this is like, I couldn't like hand pick a better hand basically. If I know I'm going first, this is about as good as it gets. This is like a dream hand, right? So I'm going to get an extra draw out of this on top of the ritual summoning. It's nice when this actually goes off because then you can go into Raijin. Pretty nice, I guess. And now I can probably start searching for some cards. I can go for Wind Pegasus there. An extra form of interruption that like your opponent will never think about, never plays into. And I just keep going, right? I can go into Maximus too. So I'm going to have a full board here. I can search the other half. It's insane. Plus I'm going to have Secret Village of the Spellcasters. Like, yeah, half of his extra deck is gone. I'm going to send an extra one. No spell cards. So, like, the deck, as old as it is, can still put up some pretty fun stuff. And I do think I'm going to buy a few copies of that card. Just a nice little spicy tech to throw in there. The traditional use, obviously, of Invoked Dogmatika, or the advantage of it back in the day, is that you could run so many hand traps. Just as decks have gone on, you can just run more and more because there's so many more one-card play starters, because you kind of just have to be, right, in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Versus this, which is really not. You could play like 9, 12 hand traps in Invoked Dogmatika, and that's what was so good about it. Nadir Servant is still a good card, definitely. The Dogmatic engine is good, for sure. It's definitely not terrible. This card is great going second because it searches both parts of it. He did have the spell there to stop that, but I'll just keep going here. I do actually end up, I think, going into, and that's how good Wind is. It's just by itself, it just wins you duels. Should have discarded Parallel there. I was thinking if I keep Ash in my hand, I can normal summon it and go into Alma. Like, it really doesn't make any sense, actually. I should have just done Parallel. I had Dreams of Grandeur there, to be honest. When I should have just had the follow-up, because I knew I had Winda. You can kind of play around Winda with Alistair, right? Just normal summon and then special summon, whatever it is that you need to do. Kind of gets around that special summon limit, while still giving you, like, really good advantage. But, yeah, that is Invoked Dogmatika with that new card. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think about this tech in the comment section down below. Other than that's going to do it for today's video, and I will see you guys next time.